Hey, it's me, the NPC. Still not on camera, I'm just debating whether or not Facecam is really the right fit for these videos. I'm still getting this series figured out. Also, sorry this episode took so long. But we're back, and let's talk about potential returning veterans and possible cuts. Kicking things off, let's talk third-party characters. Third-party characters are the most likely to get the axe simply because they have the most hoops to jump through. The weirdest things can happen and their inclusion is suddenly impossible. However, I think most of the ones from Smash 4 are actually pretty safe. Nintendo and Sega are like a couple that always teased each other in high school, but are now inseparable, and Platinum is like their adopted kid, so Sonic and Bayonetta are most likely going to return. Bandai Namco straight up co-developed the last Smash games and could very well still be involved, which means Pac-Man can't be far off. And Capcom just needs all the friends they can get due to their recent spotty history, so Mega Man and Ryu have a good chance. Hell, Mega Man was practically treated like a first-party character in Smash 4. The only one with a serious risk of being on the chopping block is Cloud. This is because Square Enix can be a bit overprotective with their IPs. These are the guys who were sending out cease and desists against fan projects years before it was the cool thing to do. I still remember when I went to a video games live concert and they couldn't get permission to use any gameplay footage of Square Enix games on the big screen to accompany the music like they could for literally every other game they featured. But they could get the rights to use footage from Disney movies for the Kingdom Hearts medley. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That said, they don't seem to have that much of a stick up their ass these days, especially when it comes to other game companies. We've already seen Noctis get into Tekken 7, and Cloud already got into Smash once before. I don't see them being in any big hurry to burn bridges with Nintendo, so I'm actually going to give Cloud a 5. But we can't talk about third-party characters in Smash without bringing up the OG. It's showtime with Snake. Some have criticized Snake's inclusion, saying that he doesn't really fit with Smash. I mean, it's hard to say what does fit with Smash anymore. But if anyone were to bring a modern military soldier to something as wacky as Smash, it would be the guy whose games feature psychic powers, mech suits, someone who might be an immortal vampire, and a dude who shoots bees from his mouth. However, that's not the real reason we're all worried about Snake. Just in case you've been living under a rock, Metal Gear director Hideo Kojima and publisher Konami have had, let's just say, a rocky relationship in the past few years. Ultimately, Kojima left Konami and is now working on his own projects, while Konami is floundering to figure out what to do with the Metal Gear license that they still own. The reason this is so important is that Kojima and Smash director Masahiro Sakurai go way back and are close friends. Their relationship is the whole reason Snake was the first third-party character to get into Smash, beating out even the super obvious choices. So when it comes to the whole Kojima-Konami feud, it's little wonder which side Sakurai is taking. Kojima stated in a public interview that he wanted to see Snake get into Smash 4, however, and this is going to get a little tinfoil hat-like, but stay with me, if Kojima actually wanted Konami to get left out in the cold and preferred Snake not reappear in Smash just to screw with them, Sakurai is exactly the kind of guy he would have a private conversation with on that. On the flip side, Konami could be the ones keeping Snake off the roster just because their recent business strategy seems to revolve around being a massive dickhead. Although that may just apply to Smash 4's lifespan. They lost big on their pachinko gamble, fittingly enough. Now they're scrambling like the headless chicken they are and trying to mend some of the bridges they burned. As much as I love Snake in Brawl and want to see him again, there is so much drama surrounding him that I just can't get my hopes up. I give Snake a 2. Next up is the most WTF character in Smash, the Wii Fit Trainer. A lot of people really seem to want this character cut. I'm guessing it's just because Wii Fit and Smash don't have a whole lot of crossover appeal. However, I can't really see the actual devs having the same mindset. Wii Fit is a huge franchise. The original Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus each sold over 20 million units, which is more than the highest selling Smash game. In fact, you could combine the sales of Melee and Brawl, and it'd still be less than either of those two Wii Fit games. Now, people think that the series is on the way out because Wii Fit U didn't sell well. But that's a Wii U game. Nothing sold well on the Wii U. Every series, including Smash, underperformed on the Wii U because no one bought the Wii U. And now, a short list of franchises deader than Wii Fit. Mario Tennis, Xenoblade Chronicles, Bayonetta, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Killing off Wii Fit just because of that would be throwing the baby out with the bathwater. If I were Nintendo, I'd definitely give the series another shot on the Switch, and complement it with Trainer showing up in Smash again. Wii Fit Trainer gets a 5. Next, let's talk Pokemon with Lucario and Greninja. Pokemon are typically high on the chopping block since there are already so many, and there are always new ones being introduced. A lot of people think that Greninja is the most likely to get dropped since its time in the spotlight has passed. There's a new generation of Pokemon, new hotness on the streets. However, I don't think Greninja is going to get tossed aside that easily. The same argument was made for Lucario when Smash 4 was in development, and it made it back. Lucario's popularity was enough to go another round. Greninja was a huge hit and is still one of the most popular Pokemon of the modern day, and I can't see him being a one and done. While Lucario is still popular as well, I see it getting the axe first simply because it has gotten in a couple times, and Greninja deserves another go a bit more. However, the biggest factor in either character getting cut, or any characters getting cut for that matter, is how much Smash Switch changes from Smash 4. There doesn't need to be a huge graphical overhaul, so the only thing that would really necessitate cuts is a huge mechanical shift. Something huge that would take a lot of work for each character, but every character needs to be updated for. Something on the level of Final Smashes or character customization. If it's just a few minor mechanics and rebalances, then they don't really need to cut anyone. Even if every character can't get proper love and care, and some of them end up being garbage tier, just having certain characters is enough to sell people on the game. Nobody buys a game for the characters you cut out of it. I'm going to give both characters a 4. Greninja is a little higher on my list, but I don't want to score in fractions. Unless there's a big surprise in store for the core game, I think both characters are in a very safe position. We're not done talking about cuts yet though, because there are 3 characters that everyone expects to be on the chopping block for reasons that I don't really agree with. I'm of course referring to Dr. Mario, Lucina, and worst boy himself, Dark Pit. Most people think these guys are high on the chopping block because they're some of the cheapest clones the series has seen. However, I'd argue that they're actually pretty safe for that exact reason. They're very easy for the devs to just throw in the game, even with radical changes to the game. I could sooner see Mewtwo, Palutena, and Sheik all getting cut before just Lucina, because cutting them would actually take a noticeable load off the development team, whereas cutting Lucina basically does nothing. It's not like these aren't valuable characters either. Lucina has been a mainstay with the Heroes and Warriors spin-offs. Dr. Mario reps an entire sub-series of games. Admittedly, Dark Pit is the one character that I've ever actively wanted cut from Smash, and it comes to one simple reason: character recognition. Smash is a chaotic game, and being able to keep track of characters on the screen is crucial. Having unique designs and silhouettes is vital to maintaining a consistent, readable gameplay experience, and I didn't like Dark Pit because he could easily be mistaken with a vanilla Pit in the same match. At least that's what I thought at first, but dwelling on it more, I realized that Dark Pit's wings are always black. Pit's wings can be a number of colors, but they're always lighter shades. Even if you have a type of color blindness, you can quickly tell a Pit from a Dark Pit just by looking at one of the largest parts of the character's body. While I'm still not a fan of Dark Pit, I certainly can't say that I hate the character and can't see any reason why he really should be cut. Honestly, it feels like most of the people who want these characters cut are just being selfish. Because they don't play these characters, they're just wastes of space overall, and therefore nobody should have them. There is some legitimacy to the complaint that 100%ing the game is made more tedious. I can kinda see that, but I think the solution lies more in reworking modes like All-Star, rather than sacrificing the roster. There's also the argument for demoting these characters to alternate costumes like they were originally supposed to be. Again, I can't really get behind this. The devs have already gone through the trouble of making some changes to these characters, and there's really no reason for them to actively work backwards. As for sticking them under the same icon on the character select screen, That is, again, something that's only really useful if you never play these characters and want them hidden away. You're saving yourself a couple milliseconds on the CSS, while anyone that actually does want to play those characters spends several extra full seconds. Most of the arguments revolving around these characters just boil down to people trying to fix something that isn't actually broken to begin with. The only argument I can get behind is the possibility of decloning these characters and making them at least a little more distinct from the originals they're based on. The only reason they're so close to other characters to begin with is because they were last-minute additions, and there's plenty of room to refine them. But that's something the devs could do if they had the time to spare, and if they don't, they can still have the characters as they are. Dr. Mario and Lucina each get a 5, and Dark Pit gets a 4. And that does it for this episode. Next time is going to be dedicated to third-party characters. Let me know which characters you want to see in the comments below, and I'll see you on the weekend.